उद्भवस्थितिसंहार कारिणीं क्लेशहारिणीं सर्वश्रेयस्करीं सीतां नतोऽहं रामवल्लभां यन्मायावशवर्ति विश्वमखिलं ब्रह्मादिदेवासुराः यत्सत्पादमृषैव भाति सकलं रज्जो यथा हेर्वमः यत्पादप्लवमेकमेव हि भवां बोधे स्थितिर्षावता वन्देऽहं तमशेषकारणपरं रामाख्यमीशं हरिं नानापुराणनिगमागमसम्मतं यद् रामायणे निगदितं क्वचिदन्यतोऽपि स्वान्तसुखाय तुलसीरघुनाथगाथा हास्यानिबन्धमतिमञ्जुलमातनोति हास्यानिबन्धमतिमञ्जुलमातनोति हरि ओम्. Those who are joining for the first time, it's the very, very beginning of Ramayana in Balkand. These are invocation verses. So we just did the Sanskrit ones, which is called the Mangalacharan. And now we are going to do the ones in Avadhi, which is called the Sumiran. So we'll chant that. Jo sumirat siddhi hoi, gananayak karivar badana, karau anugraha soi, bodhirasi subaguna sadana, mukha hoi vachala, bangucharai girivar gahana, chasu kripa sudayala, द्रवौ सकलकलिमलदहना नीलसरोरुहस्याम तरुण अरुणवारिजनयन करौ सोमम उरधाम सदा क्षीरसागरशयन कुन्द इन्दुसमदेह उमारमण करुणायन जाहि दीनपरनेह करौ कृपामर्दनमयन बन्दौ गुरपदकञ्ज कृपासिन्धु नररूपहरि महामोहतमपुञ्ज जासु भजन रविकर निकर जासु भजन रविकर निकर. Every time that I practice, it comes out fine, and then when I actually get to class, I make so many mistakes when I'm playing. So one day in class also, it will be okay. We are seeing now the ending part of Shabari Katha. Bhagavan Sri Rama has gone to meet Shabari Ma in a most moving katha that we saw, and Shabari Ma said to Bhagavan Ram that I don't know how to do your stuti, after she had tried to do a version of puja for him. She gave him fruits and a place to sit and washed his feet in no particular order. And she said, how do I do stuti for you? I don't know anything. And Bhagavan Rama, well, he didn't say, I'm going to do your stuti, but he said, listen, Shabari, I'm going to tell you now the 9 forms of bhakti, and you listen to them very well, very attentively. And he tells what those 9 forms or stages of bhakti are. And at the end, he says, anybody who has even one of these is very dear to me. And you, Shabari, you have all 9. So, you wonder, well, why did Bhagavan say it if she already has all 9? And he said also, you listen attentively and everything, right? Well, one is it was because it's for our benefit. When Bhakta meets Bhagavan, we benefit out of that. And the other is that actually Bhagavan Sri Rama ended up glorifying Shabari in a sense of, you know what, Shabari, you don't know how to glorify me, but I know how to glorify. And so the 9 forms of bhakti that he tells are really a glorification of our Shabari Ma. And nobody in the whole of Ramayana got what Shabari Ma got. You know, Shabari means tribal woman, literally. We don't even know her name. And she wasn't allowed into the ashram because there were bully brahmacharis and all of that. But are any of the brahmacharis here today? I mean, are they immortal like Shabari Ma? So, are they having a conversation with Bhagavan Rama? It's a very interesting thing to think about. You know, who we are versus who Bhagavan thinks we are. There's a very big difference between the two. And what matters most is what he thinks of us, not what we think about ourselves. Okay, now Bhagavan, having told Shabari Ma how the fruit of seeing him is that the jiva pava nija paramasarupa, right? You get darshan of me and really you realize your own self. Over here at the highest level of bhakti, there's no division between bhakti and jnana. There's only Bhagavan, there's only the self, there's only one self, however you want to say it. So this, having said this, Bhagavan now switches topics a little bit with Shabari Ma. So let me see what number it is. We are in Aranya Kanda, it is the 3rd Kanda, and we have just finished, we're in the middle, after number 35, we're somewhere in the middle over there. Chopai number 5. We're about to start Chopai number 5. Someone can maybe tell the page number in the chat for those who want to follow. Okay, so we'll chant. I'll try to chant slowly so everyone can follow along. It's not hard to chant Ramayana actually. Avadi is easy. You just have to watch the words carefully and you'll be able to sing them. Okay, ready? Mama darasana phala parama anupa jiva pavanija sahaja sarupa pam janaka sutta kai sudhi bhamini janahi kahu kari baragamini pam pasarahi jahu raghurai Sri Rama, having told Shabari Ma that the fruit of his darshan is that the jiva gets their own pava nija paramasarupa. They become merged with their own highest self, like that. He goes on to say, Janakasuta kai sudhi bhamini janahi kahu karibara gamini. Oh, uh, Bhamini, oh beautiful Shabari, oh um, shining Shabari, uh, Janakasuta kai sudhi, the whereabouts or the news of Janaki, Janaka's daughter, Janahi kahu karibara gamini. If you know, you please tell me the whereabouts of this Janakasuta. You know, if you know where she is, you please tell me. Now you see what has happened here. Oh, Karibara Gamini, that last word there, literally means woman of elephant gait, a woman who walks like an elephant. So it is a description of Sitaji. Why is Bhagavan Ram saying she walks like an elephant? Is it because she's not here? No, actually, back in the day, once upon a time, it was a compliment to say a woman walks like an elephant. It was a positive thing, and that's how he's describing her. She had a very nice way of walking, I guess, right? Have you seen that Sita? Like that, he's asking. Now, it feels like it comes out of nowhere because Bhagavan has just finished telling Shabarima about these 9 forms of bhakti and what the fruit of his darshan is. And he's talking about himself as Bhagavan over here, right? Then suddenly he has just met her also. Then he told her, you have all 9 forms of devotion. How will he know she has all 9 forms? He must be Sarvagnya to know that, isn't it? He must know everything to know she has all 9 forms of devotion. Then, if he knows everything, how is he asking, do you know where Sitaji is? So, a very interesting transition happens here within the Chaupai itself, where he goes from talking about himself at his highest state, coming all the way down to playing Nara Leela again. Where is Sitaji? If you know, you please tell me. Now, Bhagavan knows that she knows he's Bhagavan. She knows, Bhagavan knows she's Bhagavan. So, how do you answer in such a case when you know and he knows? There's no secret that he's Bhagavan. How are you going to answer that question? But Bhagavan, why are you asking me where she is? Shouldn't you know? Like that. So, how is this answered? See her answer. So beautiful. Pampa Sarahi Jahu Raghu Rai. Oh, Rama, Raghurai, you go to Pampa Sarayu. To Sarahi. You go to Pampa Lake. There's a beautiful lake called Pampa Lake. You go over there. Taha hoi Sugriva mitai. Over there, you will make friends with Sugriva. How she's telling all of this? So sabakahihi Deva Raghubira. Oh, Deva Rama. Oh, Bhagavan Ram. He will tell you everything. How does she know? How does she know who's Sugriva when she's been in the ashram for like years and years and years and she's not gone anywhere? Huh? How she knows who's Sugriva, what Bhagavan will do, how they will meet. Even Sugriva doesn't know what he's going to tell Bhagavan. And he doesn't know Bhagavan exists. But Shabari is saying, you go make friends with Sugriva, he'll tell you everything that has to be told. Huh? Actually, here you see how sadhana gives siddhi. Sitting right here, she knew everything. Huh? Then she says, so this was her straight answer. Do you know where she is? Well, you go to Sugriva and he will tell you where she is. That was her answer. Now see. Janatahu pujahu matidhira. Oh, Matidhira, oh Rama, one of steady resolve. You already know, but you're asking me. She tells him straight away, no, I told you because you asked, but really speaking, you already know, so why are you asking me? So this question comes up, but why will Bhagavan ask her if he knows? See, from his point of view, what is happening is he's giving Shabarima an opportunity to be part of the story. She's the one who told where he should go. Huh? Then, from her point of view, he's giving her now the opportunity to do seva. Because the fulfillment of bhakti is in doing seva for Bhagavan. It's not just in saying, I have bhakti. We have to do something. Vibhishana had bhakti, but he didn't do anything for so many years. I mean, not for so many months, right? In the same way, for Guru also, it's not enough to just have bhakti. That bhakti has to be accompanied by seva. What it is, how much it is, that doesn't matter, huh? Sometimes we do seva and they don't want that seva also, but we feel good to do it. you know, they have to suffer through our seva sometimes, but it's our way of expressing our love and letting our bhakti find its fulfillment. So, like this, she gets an opportunity to do seva such that her bhakti gets its fulfillment. Hey, I got to tell Bhagavan something. Then now he's also showing clearly he's switched to Naralila. So he has to ask because now he's not Sarvagnya anymore. Like that. However you want to take it, but this is some of the different ways to think about it. Now, Bara Bara Prabhupada Sirunai, again and again, bowing her head to Bhagavan's feet, Prema Sahita, Saba Katha Sunai. With great love, now she told him the whole story. It's not told which story she told. It might be the story about how he's going to meet Sugriva. It might be the story about how she met her guru. So different stories. It could be anything. But this is what she does. Now in the Chanda, Kahi Katha Sakala, having told this whole story, Biloki Harimukha, looking at the face of Bhagavan. She doesn't call him Ram. Over here, the word is used Hari. So she knows who he is. Very clearly, she knows who he is. Hridaya Pada Pankaja Dhare, holding in her heart his lotus feet. Taji Joga Pavaka Deha Hari Pada Leena. Bhai, she gave up her body with the fire of yoga. So she invoked the Agni fire, Agni in her with her yoga powers. And like that, her body was burnt. In Sanatana Dharma, it's not a scary or bad thing to drop your body necessarily. If you've lived your life fully, then happily you drop your body. And if you haven't lived your life fully, well, you finish your karma is finished. What to say? You have to go. So there's nothing like inauspicious around death in Sanatana Dharma. And this, she gives up her body. She with the yoga agni, and she became absorbed in Hari's state. Means she got mukti, not a kind of mukti where she'll come back. She merged with Bhagavan forever. Jahan nahi phire, from where there's no return. So she doesn't come back. Huh? I heard a nice story about how she told Bhagavan to send her where her guru is. And so that is where she ends up going. Huh? But like that, I mean, everyone will go where they're supposed to go. But see the power of mantra japa, because all that Shabari Ma had was faith in Guru, and that faith in Guru is what gave her the capacity to do unflinching mantra japa. And then look at what she got after that, right? Shabari's depth, she had all 9. If we develop even one, Bhagavan will think we are great. Just one we should look at and try to bring into our life. So your task is to look at the 9 and go eeny, meeny, miny, mo, or however you choose one. But you choose one and one that resonates with you, and you hold it in your heart and you say, this one I'm not going to give up no matter what. And you find that way to express your bhakti for Bhagavan. You know, people who call themselves jnanis and say they're on the path of knowledge, or people who say they don't need bhakti, I tell you, whenever anybody goes through any kind of tragedy or sorrowful situation in life, they end up turning to Bhagavan, helpless, because all of our strength at that time comes only from Bhagavan. And if you don't have a relationship with him, then how will there be strength at that time? Everybody gets strength from Bhagavan, whether they like to admit it or not. So, something to think about. And Bhagavan is not saying, do puja for me. He's telling so many nice different things. be simple and natural, and don't give up chala, give up deceit. These kind of qualities are also bhakti, right? So you look through the list and you choose one and you hold on to it for your life. Okay, now Tulsidasji gives commentary to close off this section. He says, Nara, O man, O human being, uh, bibidha karma adharma bahumata soka prada sabatyagahu. You drop everything, what he just listed. What did he say? All bibidha karma, all the various activities that you do. All adharma, all the adharma that you do. Bahumata, all the different countless opinions that you have. That all of them are shoka prada. They all give sorrow. That is their function. You give up all of those. You know, so many things we do. This bibida karma, every possible action you can think of that you do counts here. But how is every action a giver of sorrow? Actually, it's a very simple thing. You cannot do an action that is only positive because we live in a world of dvandva, of duality, right? So any action that you do will be a mixture of both. Like, see, we're going to Trinidad for yatra, for a Gurukul camp. We're going to have children stay with us for 3 weeks at the ashram with Swamiji. That's wonderful karma. But everyone has to get on a plane and come to the ashram. And going in a plane is, I mean, it's bad for the environment, right? So at the same time that we're doing good karma, we're also doing adharma or papa karma. And when we do papa, there's sorrow. So any karma that we do will have both. So any karma that we do will bring sorrow. Then even if you just count, okay, it's a positive karma. Well, positive karma also brings bondage because you're bound to come and reap the result. And then any bondage is sorrow. So like that, all the various activities we do, Tulsidasji describes them as shoka prada. They bring sorrow to our life. Huh? Then adharma. Well, adharma is easy. Any adharma that you do, it's easy to see how that brings sorrow. Bahumata, countless opinions that we have. You know, one of the opinions that we have in life is is that I had a good one I wanted to give an example for. Huh. Everybody thinks that happiness is in objects. Correct or wrong? Everybody goes, okay, leave if you think or not. Everybody goes about living their life accepting that there is happiness in things, in people, in circumstances. Correct or not? Hmm? Now, that is false hope because you're going to something that doesn't have happiness as an inherent quality and you expect to get happiness from it. That will be one bahumata. Countless opinions, one of countless opinions is there that there's happiness in objects. It's shoka prada. It gives sorrow because there's false hope in that opinion of life that we have. Right? You could also take this to be different views of philosophy. Any view of philosophy you give up, it's just all means don't just talk, talk, talk. Have bhakti for Bhagavan. That's the point of his sentiment, right? Vivida karma is all karma, right? You know, everything, see simply also, anything that we do for happiness or name and fame or recognition, whatever, peace, all the actions that we do to get all of these things, does it guarantee that our happiness, we're going to get happiness, we're going to get peace, our sorrow is going to go away, we're going to get name and fame? It, it whatever we do, does it guarantee our sorrow will go away? No, it doesn't guarantee. Uh, so instead of trying to use them to remove our sorrow, Tulsidasji is saying they're shoka prada. They're the ones that give sorrow. So drop them. Drop them and do what? Do what? Bisvasa kari kahadasa tulasi Rama pada anuragaho. Have faith, says Tulsidasji. Be devoted to the feet of Rama. Hmm? Have faith that if you have even one of the 9 forms of devotion, there will be joy in your life. Hmm? Like if you live a natural, simple life, your life is guaranteed to be happy. Like that faith in our heart that if we have one even of the 9 forms of devotion, our life will be filled with joy. Mm? So Tulsidasji is trying to inspire us to take up the 9 forms of devotion, or at least one of the 9 forms. Huh? Now, finally, in the Doha, he comments and he says, Jati hina. She didn't have a jati, like no great caste. Janma, agha janma. She was born of papa. Someone who's born of papa means they're considered of low birth according to society, right? Or she suffered so much. The life that she lived from society's eyes, she went through so much suffering. Hmm? So, Mahi on this earth, Mukta Kinhi Asinari. Bhagavan gave mukti to such a woman. Huh? Here, Tulsidasji is basically describing how she thinks of herself or how the world thinks of her. Huh? She was rejected by her husband, by society, by everybody. But when you have Guru, you have everything like that. Huh? And the other thing, Mahamanda Mana Sukha Chahasi. This silly, foolish mind wants joy. Aise Prabhuhi Bisari. Forgetting such a Bhagavan, remembering whom one gets this kind of liberation. Such a person even gets this kind of liberation. And like this word, he says nari, right? He says he gave mukti to such a woman. In everybody's mind, this should be so clear. There's no bias in Sanatana Dharma that only men can get mukti. There's nothing like that. Huh? Anybody who's qualified will get mukti. We don't but belong to a biased tradition. All the biases are superimposed by people in power and the what is it called? The degradation of culture. It's not there in Sanatana Dharma at all. So now Tulsidashi tells his foolish mind, you want joy dropping such a Bhagavan. What is wrong with you? That is like trying to, in another place he writes, that is like trying to churn water to get butter. You spend your whole life. You'll work, work, work. You'll get muscles and everything, but you will not get butter. You try your whole life and you won't get butter. You'll work. There will be movement, but movement is no sign of progress. Huh? So, like that. He's saying, ask yourself this question. Forgetting such a Lord, you expect to be happy? You translate that to our life also, right? You think you can be happy with just material life devoid of spiritual life? Like that. Materialism is enough to bring joy in your life? Or um, knowledge devoid of devotion, devoid of reverence, devoid of admiration for divinity is enough? Like philosophers, who are experts on what Bhagavad Gita says. Can you guarantee they're happy? Oh, you know who knows even more than all the philosophers currently is ChatGPT. You think ChatGPT is happy because he knows everything in the Bhagavad Gita? The one thing ChatGPT will have all the knowledge in the world, but one thing ChatGPT can never have is devotion. Hmm? And that is why Chat cannot actually be happy. Like that, you ask yourself, this giving up Rama and getting this, I'll be happy? You keep asking. Rama substituted with divinity, with spirituality, with whatever word makes sense for you. Such a Lord dropping, how can one be happy? Devoid of a life of deeper meaning, how can one be happy? Like that. Okay, so with this, our Shabari Katha comes to an end. Shabari Ma got mukti, and now we have to try and get our mukti. But now Bhagavan continues on his journey. So now let us see. Now Bhagavan is going to play the role of a depressed man who has lost his wife. So let us see how that unfolds. This is after number 36. चले राम त्यागा बनसो अतुलित बल नर के हरि दो बिरही बिरही व प्रभु करत विषादा कहत कथा अनेक संवादा लक्ष्मण देखो. Oh, I didn't change the volume. 1 second. Is it? It was cutting. Okay. लक्ष्मण देखो विपिन कई शोभा देखत केहि कर मन नहीं क्षोभा नारी सहित सब खग मृग वृंदा मानहु मोरी करत हहि निंदा हम ही देखी मृग निकर पराहि मृगी कहहि तुम कह भय नाही तुम आनंद करहु मृग जाहि कंचन मृग खोजन ये आए संग लाई करनी करि लेहि मानहु मोहि सिखावन देहि राखिय नारी शास्त्र सुचिंतित पुनि पुनि देखिय भूप सुसेवित बस नहीं लेखिय राखिय नारी जदपि उरमाहि चुबति शास्त्र नृपति बस नाही देखहु तात बसंत सुहावा प्रियाहीन मोहि भय उपजावा बिरह बिकल बलहीन मोहि जानिसि निपट अकेल सहित विपिन मधुकर खग मदन कीन्ह बग मेल देखि गयो भ्राता सहित तासु दूत सुनि बात डेरा कीन्हि मनहु तब कटकु हटकि मन जात सिया वर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय बोलो भय सब संतन की जय. Okay, now see. Chale Rama. Rama went ahead. Tyaga banaso, giving up or leaving now that forest which he was in. Atulita bala, narake harido. Both these men looked like they had immeasurable strength and they looked like lions among men. Means super, super strong, like that. Huh? And a lion is supposed to be fearless also. So they were walking like they looked fearless. Huh? Now, birahi iva prabhu karata bishada. Like a person separated from their loved one, Bhagavan, Prabhu, was lamenting, was grieving. Tulsidasji says, birahi iva, like someone who was separated from their loved one. He puts like very clearly in there. Huh? And kahata katha aneka sambada. And he was telling so many different stories to Lakshmana. He was having countless dialogues with him. So now think about this a little bit. At the same time that he is looking like a lion among men, that is his external appearance. But what is his inside emotional state right now? Completely depressed. Huh? It shows how our external expression of who we are does not need to match our inside emotions. People who look physically healthy and strong can be very mentally weak inside. People who look like they should be happy, just because they look happy outside doesn't mean they're happy inside. So external appearance is no guarantee of our inner state of being. So Tulsidasji, just by saying, why will he say out of all times, yeah, they looked like lions among men? And then the next line he describes how he was depressed. He was depressed like a person who's lost his loved one. And Tulsidashi keeps, in this whole katha, he's going to keep reminding us that Bhagavan is just playing a role. He doesn't actually get depressed. He's acting the role of someone who plays who is depressed. Because this Leela is so deluding. Actually, this is the Leela, the part where Sitaji got deluded. So just be careful. Don't think, how can Bhagavan be like this? He's playing a role. Shivji will tell at the end of this section also why he's doing this. Now, he's talking to Lakshmanji as he's going along. And now he says, Lakshmana, dekhu bipina kai sobha. Oh Lakshmana, look at the beauty of this forest. Dekhata kahi kara mana nahi choba. Even dekhata, sorry. Seeing this beauty of this forest, whose mind will not be affected by it? Whose mind will not be enraptured by it? You know, if someone is with their beloved, then there's the joy of being there with them. You know? And without the beloved, their mind is like, oh, I wish they were there. That's the point. But either way, the desire of the beloved is there. You just have to imagine like a Bollywood scene for this. You know, Bollywood actors seeing like a full moon on a beautiful night. If they have their heroine, or it means their other half with them, then you can imagine the kind of song that will be playing, right? And then if they don't have them with them, you can imagine the kind of song will be playing. The soundtrack itself will tell you the difference, right? But either way, there's strong emotion associated with that whole thing. So Lord Rama is saying, seeing the beauty of this forest, whose mind is not going to get agitated, positive or negative, either way. Nari Sahita Saba Khaga Mriga Brinda. He says, look, all of these birds and all of these deer, these animals, they're together with their wives, with their female companions. You know, he's been in the forest for 13 years, and he's never commented on the fact that these animals are hanging out with their wives around him. But now, he's like, look, they're here with their nari, their female counterpart, their spouse, however you want to call it. Ma nahu mori karata hahi ninda. It's like they're mocking me. They're reproaching me. They're laughing at me. Bhagavan is saying to Lakshmana, look, all these animals coming with their wives, it's like they're mocking me. See, he's showing the mental plight of someone who has lost someone they strongly desire. And he's showing how, as a result of that state of mind, our whole mind and how we see the world changes. All of a sudden, now he's seeing animals also go together like this. So his whole perspective of life has changed. Hamahi dekhi mriga nikara parahi. Seeing me, he's saying to Lakshmana, all the deer are running away. Mrigi kahahi tumha kaha bhaya nahi. And then the she deer, how do you say, the female deer, are telling them, you don't need to fear. This is Lord Rama telling Lakshmana. He's imagining and he's telling Lakshmana that, look, these male deers seeing me, they're getting scared and running away. And the female deers are saying, no, you don't need to be scared. There's nothing to be scared about. Why? Tumha anand karahu mrigajai. Oh, dear, you go and enjoy. There's nothing to be scared about. Kanchana mriga kho janae ai. He has come to look for a golden deer, not for you. Lord Rama is telling what the animals are saying about him to each other. He's not come to look for you, he's come to look for golden deer. It means the person who goes through this kind of thing would be chiding themselves for going behind a golden deer and then superimposing those thoughts on the animal. But see how interesting, behind these lines, we also learn about the traditions behind hunting and all of that. The female deer were not scared because there was a rule that you're not allowed to hunt females. So when hunters went hunting, they had to go with awareness, and they had to go with discrimination and control and everything. Just a side, very interesting point. Anyways, like that, they weren't scared, but they were telling the male deers, you also nothing to be scared. He's looking for golden deer. That's such a funny line. Bhagavan Ram's actually funny if you come to see behind all the intensity of this. He's really funny in this section. Sangalai karini kari lehi. Now all the elephants have also brought their she elephants along, their girl elephants. So the elephants have also come now in pairs. Manahu mohi sikha vanu dehi. And it's like they're trying to teach me a lesson. What? You left your wife? You're supposed to bring your wife. Like that. Like as if, they're trying to tell him, what did you do? Actually, it's his own mind teaching him a lesson, prompted by the seeing of the elephants. That's called Guru Tattva. When we learn something just by seeing the world, and a piece of knowledge or a principle of the universe is clarified in our mind, it is because of the presence of the all-pervasive presence of the Guru Tattva. But anyways, now something more they're teaching him. What is the lesson? He tells. Sastra suchintita puni puni dekhiya. And now you please listen to this whole section first. It's actually a very great subhashita. It's a very great words of wisdom. He says, Sastra suchintita puni puni dekhiya. Even though you have thought about or you've studied Shastra very well, you're supposed to study it over and over again. You're supposed to keep reviewing it. Bhupasu sevita basa nahi lekhiya. And if you have served a king or a boss very well, you should still not take them for granted. And then, rakhiya nari jadapi ura mahi. Even though you've kept your wife or your beloved very close to your heart. Jubati Sastra Nripati Basa Nahi. A woman, a Shastra, and a king or a boss are never under the control of anybody. The other translation for that will be, they're never fully understood. Don't take Shastra, don't take your king or your boss, and don't take a woman or your spouse for granted. Here, please, if you're a woman, you replace woman with man. Lord Rama is speaking as a man, so he's saying woman, but it applies exactly perfectly in the opposite gender, right? So you just switch that word in your mind. He's not talking about women, he's talking about spouse, opposite gender. Now see why. Shastra is the kind of thing, one, you can think about it and study it for years and years and years, and actually you will never fully grasp what it means. Every time you study it again, it will bring a different meaning to your mind, a deeper meaning to your mind. That one. The second thing is, you can never take for granted that you know the Shastra, because in a moment you can become confused or forget what it was trying to say. And sometimes it happens that you're trying to explain something that you've studied to somebody else, and then you realize, wait, I'm not sure I actually understand this verse, and you can't say anything at that time. So you have to pretend you know what you're talking about, but you really don't know. At any time, anybody can forget what the Shastra was trying to say, so we can never have ego about understanding Shastra. So that's the first thing. Second, actually that's why so many great Mahatmas, when they meet each other, they ask each other questions about Shastra. Look, Bharadwaj Muni is so great, but he's asking Yajnavalkya Rishi questions in Ramayana. Guruji is so great, but he has come to ask Kakabushundi questions to clarify his delusion. Like that. When Mahatmas meet, they know the answers, but they like to talk about and think about the Shastra, because Shastra can not be taken for granted. Then the next one, the king or the boss. You may be very close to your boss, but you cannot take for granted that you've done so much for them, and therefore they're going to be there for you because you've served them. Anything can happen. So Tulsidasji, Lord Rama is saying the elephants are teaching me to have real expectations. He's boss and you're not. Like that. And then the last one, woman, wife, means spouse. Huh? You may love and care for them and be close to them, but you cannot take them for granted. So for somebody like Sitaji, it would mean don't take her for granted, protect her. And for someone like Keikei, it would say don't take for granted that you know her or you understand her, because anything can happen at any time. Her mind can twist. Look, she was such a great queen. She loved Lord Rama the most. She was so noble. She helped Dashrathji. That's how she got the 2 boons, right? But who knows what will happen when? He assumed she would be overjoyed to hear about Rama's coronation, but she wasn't, right? So like that, anything can happen at any time. Don't take them for granted. That's the point. Huh? Don't take anything for granted. Don't take Shastra, don't take boss, and don't take spouse for granted. That is what the elephants taught him. Imagine if you had those kind of elephants to teach you that. When people see elephants, what do they say? Oh, let's take a selfie. Bhagavan Ram is thinking philosophy. Anyways, Dekhahu tata basanta suhava. Oh, look, my dear Lakshmana, look at the beautiful spring. Priyahina muhi bhaya upajava. Without my beloved, without my dear Sita, it is bringing fear, it is bringing anxiety to my mind. See, spring is supposed to bring joy to the mind. But when the state of mind is not peaceful, the same thing that could bring joy has the capacity to bring fear and anxiety. This whole section is showing us again and again how the world is the same, but how we experience it is 100% dependent on the state of our mind. So if we fix our mind, then the world is fixed. And if we try to fix the world, but our mind is disturbed, our world is not fixed. So Gurudev says, no, we are comfortably miserable now. That is all. Because we've not done anything to fix our mind, and we've done so much to fix the world, but the world is only what our mind is. So Bhagavan is reminding us. Huh? Okay, now a very interesting metaphor starts about how Kamadev is coming to attack him, to attack Lord Rama's mind. Huh? It means, Kamadev means passion, desire, like that. How this Kamadev personified is now coming to attack him. It's a very interesting, cool section. It starts in this doha and then it continues. He says, Biraha bikala balahina mohi janisi nipata akela. Seeing me totally alone, devoid of strength, miserable in separation, sahita bipina madhukara khaga madana keenha bagamela. This Madana, this Kamadev, along with the forest and the bees and the birds, he has come now to stir up desire in my heart. He has come to bring passion in my heart. He's come to attack me like that. Huh? So this is what the hypothesis is. Then, Dekhi gayo bhrata sahita. He came, tasu duta sunibata. His duta, in the form of the spring, came and checked out my status. And he saw that I am with my brother. He came to look and see my conditions so he could attack me strategically. And he saw that I'm with my brother. And then hearing this, now the Duta goes back to report to Kamadev. So the spring has gone back to tell Kamadev that he's with Lakshmana. Dera keen hehu mana hutaba kataku hataki manajata. So he sent his messenger to evaluate the situation. Messenger came in the form of spring and went back and said, hey, Rama is not actually alone. He's with Lakshmana. And Kamadev, hearing this, he stopped in his tracks and he set up camp right where he was. Means he withdrew for the moment. He didn't come to attack Rama because Rama was with Lakshmana. That is what this doha is saying. Now, what is the meaning of this metaphor? It is actually so instructive. You read it and you're like, what kind of thing is going on? But just think about it a little bit. If a desire arises in our mind against our will, sometimes desire arises in our mind contrary to what we want. True or false? Well, most of our desires are like that. I didn't actually want that desire and it came and now I'm stuck. At that time, when the desire arises, if Lakshmana is there in our mind with us, meaning Vairagya. Remember, Lakshmana symbolizes Vairagya. If there's Vairagya, if there's detachment, if there's dispassion in our mind at that time, that Kama cannot do anything to us. It has to freeze and stop and pause in its track at that time. But sometimes our desires are so strong that our Vairagya also goes out the window and we're left defenseless. At that time, this also teaches a very nice thing. That if there is somebody with us who can help us to manage those desires, then we are safe. So Lakshmana internally or Lakshmana externally can help us to manage the desires that we get which we don't want to fulfill. The problem is that the company we keep is not Lakshmana. Instead of helping us, they instigate the problem more. Have you seen? And then the simple problem, they turn it into like a scandal. What? He did that to you? Come, I'm going to sit and eat ice cream with you and we're going to complain about him. You need Lakshmana at that time, someone who's not like you. Right? So this is actually very instructive for us in the way we can handle desires if they come to us and we don't want them. Lakshmana inside or Lakshmana outside. If we have, we're protected temporarily by Kamadev. Now, actually, at the same time that Lord Rama is saying he's suffering from pangs of separation from his beloved Sitaji, he's also teaching us and showing us what happens to such people, and he's also making us consider better ways to deal with it. All of it at the same time. So it's very easy to get deluded and misunderstand the section, but if we study it properly, there are countless lessons for life in this section. Like, this is desire management. What happens when you don't get what you want in life, or if it's unfairly taken away from you? That is what this section is also about, isn't it? Now, one last amazing thing I'll tell you over here before we continue. Lord Rama rarely compliments Lakshmana. You can count and see how many times so far he's complimented him. 0. Since they've left Ayodhya, till now, 0 compliments. But he is so generous with his compliments to other people. Like, he openly praises Bharatji, he praises Shabari, who he just met. Just now he's going to meet Hanumanji and say, you are 2 times as dear to me as Lakshmana. I love you 2 times as Lakshmana, who I've known my whole life, who does every single thing for me. Right? He doesn't sleep, he gave up his life for me, but I love you 2 times as I love him. That's its own thing. But the point is, very few direct compliments are given to Lakshmana. Here is one of those compliments. It's like he's saying, Lakshmana, look at your Vairagya. Compare you and compare me. You are protecting me here. I am helpless. I am depressed. I have lost control of my life. I am weak and attackable. And it is because of you that I am still okay. Meaning, look how long Lakshmana wasn't with Urmila. He did not even give an indication in the 13 years that he missed her. For a moment also, you cannot find that. Lord Rama is without Sitaji for a few moments and see the distress that he is playing the role of. Meaning, here, he's highlighting the glory of Lakshmana. What Lakshmana did wasn't easy. And Lakshmana is an embodiment of Vairagya, and he's glorifying that in this section. Now, the interesting thing also is when somebody is enjoying something or life is good, they don't think of the importance of Vairagya. It is only when they're suffering that they realize, it would have actually been beneficial if I had Vairagya. I wouldn't have had to suffer so much. So it's like Bhagavan is depicting now that he's suffering, he sees the value of Vairagya. So there's so many layers that you can take from this simple conversation that is going on. Okay, let us chant now. This is after number 37, the description of Kamadeva's army coming to attack now Bhagavan Rama in the forest. So an army has different parts. The army will set up camp, and then it'll come with soldiers and footmen and horses and elephants and all of that. So every part of Kamadeva's army is going to have its own description now in the forest. Right? So let us see this. Betapa bisalalata arujhani bibita bitana diye janutani kadalitala baradhuja pataka dekhi namohi dhira manjaka bibidha bhanti phule tarunana janubane tapane bahubana kahu kahu sundara betapa suhai janu bhata bilaga bilaga hui chai pujata bekamana gajamate dhek mahoga utha bisarate mol rachakora kira barabaji paravat maral sabtaji titera lavak pada chara jhutha barani na jai manoj barutha ratha giri sila dundubhi charana chatak bandi gunagana barana madhukara mukhara bheri sahanai tribida bayari basiti ai chaturangini sena sangaline vicharata sabahi chunauti dine लक्ष्मण देखत काम अनेका रहहि धीर तिन कै जगलीका एहि के एक परम बल नारी तेहि ते उबर सुभट सोई भारी तात तीनि अति प्रबल खल काम क्रोध अरु लोभ मुनि विज्ञान धाम मन करहि निमिष मनु क्षोभ लोभ के इच्छा दंभ बल काम के केवल नारी क्रोध के परुष वचन बल मुनि बर कहहि विचारि सिया वर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय. Bitapa bisala lata arujhani. Now Kamadev had found time to come and attack. His army is getting ready to attack and stir up passion and lust and desire in the person. And so now see, Rama is demonstrating, but it could be anybody. Huh? He says all the trees are there, huge trees are there, and they're entwined by vines. You know when the vines grow and they make like a canopy? Bibidha bitana diye janutani. They've made canopies, and it's like as though those are the tents that have been set up by Kamadev's army. So this whole forest is now his army base that has been, tents and all have been set up over there. Kadali Tala Baradhuja Pataka. The plantain trees and the palm trees are like the banners and the flags of this army. You know, every army has their banner and their flag. So the a banner and the flag is like the palm tree and the plantain tree over there. Dekhi na moha dhira manajaka. Seeing these means the banner and all. The one whose mind has fortitude, that person does not get deluded. Means when karma comes to attack us, when desire tries to attack us, if there's fortitude in our mind, it is a protection against that desire. If we don't have fortitude, then desire will be born in our heart. So the sight of Kamadev's insignia has the capacity to bring out infatuation or desire in our heart. If we have fortitude, it stops. Bibidha bhati phule tarunana. In different ways, all the trees were blossoming with flowers. Nana, Janu banaita bane bahubana. It was like they were different generals that were arranged around in full armor. So now you can imagine that the trees are representative of generals that are ready to attack. Attack the mind and instigate a certain thinking pattern in our mind. So you know the mind gets infatuated just seeing certain things, right? So it's like Kamadev has strategically placed these things to cause things to start happening in our mind. Kahu kahu sundara beta pasuhai janu bhata bilaga hoi jai. Now, in different places, again, there were other beautiful trees. And it was as though, again, same thing, different types of warriors were spread out and getting ready to fight. Ku jata pika ma nahu jaga mate. All the cuckoo birds that were cooing, it was like the excited elephants or the intoxicated elephants of battle. And then Dhek mahoka utha bisarate. And the different kinds of birds were like the camels and the mules of the army. You know, armies have multiple things, not just people. Like big armies in the olden days had all of these camels and mules. They didn't have, what's it called? They didn't have drone power. They had mule power and camel power. So these are all the different things in the army. The birds are representative of the camels and all. Then, Mora chakora kira barabaji. The peacocks and the chakors, kind of partridges, and the parrots were like his horses. And then Paravata marala sabataji. And then the pigeons and the swans were like other kinds of horses. Titira lavaka padachara jutha. The partridges and the water birds were like the infantry of the army. And then Baranina Jai Manoja Barutha. This army of Kamdev just could not be described. It was so magnificent and spread out and huge and captivating like that. Ratha, what was his chariots? Giri, Sila, Dun, all the rocky mountains were his chariots. He's using the chariot, which is the mountains in the forest. Dundubhi Jharana. And the war drums were the waterfalls of the forest. Chataka Bandi Guna Gana Barana. And the Chatak birds were the bards that were singing Kamdev's glories. So see, every single element of the forest has now been incorporated as the army of Kamadeva that is trying to attack the mind of Bhagavan Sri Rama. Madhukara Mukhara Bheri Sahanai. The bees that were buzzing were like the kettle drums and the shahanais that are blown at the beginning of the battle. Trivida Bayari Basithi Ai. And the three types of breeze were like the ambassadors that have come now to tell Rama, battle is starting. And then Chaturangini Sena Sangaleen He. Now this Kamadev came there with his four-part army. Means his army had people and animals, elephants, chariots, and all of that. Four-part army. Bicharata sabahi chunauti deen hai. And what he was doing, it's like he brought this army and now he's marching about like a boss, challenging everybody who he's meeting. But he doesn't always win. Lachimana, O Lakshman, dekhata kama anika, seeing Kama's army, means seeing Kama coming there and strategically trying to influence your mind with everything there in the surrounding. Rahahi dhira tinhake jaga lika. That person remains unshaken who is steadfast in dharma. If you are steadfast in dharma, when Kamadev comes to try to attack you, he cannot do anything to you. This is Lord Rama telling directly to Lakshmana. Means his army is ineffective. It's not going to work. So when his army is ineffective and he shoots, you know Kamadev's arrows? Have you seen when they depict it in like Ramayana and Sagar and all? His arrow is made of flowers and then he shoots with a big arrow ball of flowers and then nothing happens. So then what does he do at that time? I don't know if you remember from Balkand also. He brings backup. His backup is all the apsaras. Let the apsaras come and do some work now. So now see what Lord Rama says. Ehi ke eka parama bala nari. His greatest strength, Kamadev's greatest strength is woman. And for women, men, opposite. Right? Tehi te ubara subhata hoi soi bhari. That person who can remain free from the infatuation of man or woman, respectively, that Kamadev brings in front of us, that person is a great soldier. Meaning, see, Rama is saying woman because he's man. So you apply it in whichever way. But the point is this desire for the opposite gender is very strong. And Bhagavan is just demonstrating a fact of life. That when that desire is there, really speaking, you don't even need a right environment. That is his biggest weapon for a person like that. But the person who can remain free from that infatuation or the onslaught of kama, that person is a great soldier. So what is the technique he gives us for fighting back desires? 1, vairagya. 2, dharma. And 3, he told one more thing, fortitude. So these 3 so far he has told are techniques for us to fight desire when Kamadev comes to try to attack us. And now in the Doha, he says, I'm surprised this Doha is not more famously known to people. Tata tini ati prabala khala kama krodha arulobha. Oh my dear brother, these 3 are extremely powerful and extremely wicked. What are they? Kama, Krodha, Lobha. These same 3 doorways to hell that are told in Gita, here also. Desire, anger, greed. Means suffering guaranteed if you have these 3. Muni Bigyana Dhama Mana Karahi Nimisha Mahu Choba. The mind of the Munis also, which is the abode of wisdom, they have the capacity to agitate or disturb in a moment also. That is the power of this Kama, Krodha, Lobha. Now he tells the strength of each of these 3 powerful forces. You know, their strongest weapon. Each of them strongest weapon. What is their strongest weapon? Lobha ke ichha, damba bala. The strength or the power of lobha, of greed, is desire, kama, and damba, hypocrisy and showing off and all of that. Because you cannot have greed if you don't have desire. Desire is the seed for greed. And hypocrisy is, it means I will be ready to do anything to get it. And pomp is, well, I'm ready to show it off. Right? So there's no end to greed. That is represented with Hanumanji and Surasa also. We'll see that when we get there. But as long as desire is there, it is the seed for greed. So this the strength of greed is desire and hypocrisy or wanting to show off. So those are the 2 strengths. If you have those 2, greed is always going to win, like that. Then, Kama ke kevala nari. Well, the strength of kama means its strongest weapon. Of lust is the opposite gender. And so many atrocities happen because this desire cannot be controlled. We don't even need to talk about it. Everybody knows, right? And then, krodha ke parusha bachana bala. The strength of anger is in harsh speech, cutting harsh words. And this is Muni bara kahahi bichari. This great munis have sat and thought about it, and they are the ones who are saying. Strength in the sense, it is what helps these negative qualities to persist. Somebody who speaks harsh words out of anger, it goes and it causes anger in another person. And then that person speaks harsh words back, and then the anger persists. Right? And so the thing that protects anger is harsh speech. You just try. The next time you get angry and a harsh word is trying to come out of your mouth, you bite your tongue and you hold it in, thinking, if I say this harsh word out of anger, all my hair is going to fall off. Or something. Whatever you care about, I don't know. All my books are going to burn, or some crazy thing. You will not be able to say that word because there's something you value more. Right? Then, if you do that every time, you will realize that your mind will learn, hey, but I don't need to get angry. Anyways, I can't say the bad thing when I think it, so why get angry even in the first place? So the strength of krodha, or what keeps it maintained, is the harsh words that we speak. Just on Saturday, we were talking about vak tapas in Bhagavad Gita class. This vak tapas of speech is crucial. It is what helps us to remove krodha also. So now, you think, Bhagavan Ram so nicely puts it. He says, well, this is what the great munis have told, giving it great thought. And Guruji in Tips for Happy Living, we were watching it on Guruji's birthday at the ashram here. He said, think about these things that I'm telling, but you're free to reject them. Means if it makes sense to you, you take it. But he has thought deeply about it. So how can we think we know better than him? Like that. The munis have thought deeply about all this. So we should think about it too, but we should also know it's true. Like that. So now, has Bhagavan actually been attacked by Kama? Or is he only playing the role and explaining what happens? Through this, it's very clear that he is just demonstrating he's not actually smitten by this thing. So what happens is, here you'll see how Lord Rama is showing Kamadev comes and creates a perfect setting for the desire to arise in our mind. And he uses all the senses, sound, touch, taste, hearing, etc., right? And he surrounds us and he attacks us, meaning he makes that desire come up in our mind. And so the desire will arise if we don't have the capacity to fight it in the form of vairagya, means dispassion, in the form of fortitude, in the form of sticking to our goals, in the form of doing dharma. If we don't have that, we will be swept away by the desire. And that desire will lead to greed and to anger, and together they will bring sorrow to our life. So Bhagavan is painting the picture for us of a metaphorical representation of how Kama comes and attacks us and surrounds us and smothers us. In normal, like in yajnas, this is not the kind of section that will be studied, because who has time to study all this Kamadev description and and there's so many other things to tell. But see how profound this section is. I don't know, some of you may not have seen this section before. It is a really profound section to give thought to. It is so instructive and insightful in the way that we handle desires that cannot be fulfilled, or shouldn't be fulfilled, or shouldn't arise like that. And the power of vairagya in this whole thing also. So we'll pause here. In the next sentence, Lord Shiva is going to give commentary on this section. He's speaking to Parvati Ma. The narrator of this section is Shivji. So this is Jnana Ghat going on. knowledge is required here. We'll see so nicely what Shivji tells to Parvati Ma, an analysis of this Leela that Bhagavan Ram is playing out for us. So we have to wait for next week for that. I thought we would get to it, but we didn't. That's okay. Next week. Okay. I will do a couple announcements and then I will do closing prayer, and whoever needs to drop off can drop off. Those who would like to stay, I'd love to hear if you want to share any reflections. That's what we do for a few minutes at the end of class, right? Okay. Announcement number 1, tomorrow is Guru Purnima. Guru Purnima is the day when we have the opportunity to, and permission, unbridled permission to express all of our love and all of our gratitude and all of our reverence to our Guru Parampara. The knowledge that we only have because of this entire Guru Parampara. And so with great gratitude in our heart, we take the opportunity to thank the Gurus who've brought it to us. We'll be celebrating here at the ashram. Everywhere around the world, everyone will be celebrating. So please, wherever you are, do plan to celebrate and offer your gratitude. The best way to imagine how much gratitude you should be offering is to imagine your life without the knowledge of the Shastra. Then you'll know what kind of gratitude is deserved. Shastra includes dharma, Shastra includes values, Shastra includes all knowledge, Shastra includes principles of the universe. So you just think about that, and then you will see the intensity of the gratitude we should be having on that day. Okay, it's a day to remind us that we should have gratitude. It's also Veda Vyasa's Jayanti. He's the one who wrote down all the Vedas for us. Imagine if we didn't have Ramayana written and we had to memorize it to study it. Shri Rama. I mean, that's Tulsidasji, but apply that to the Shastras before. 100,000 verses of Mahabharata would have been lost. Okay, I'm on buddy in Guyana with children. Please do encourage them to send them. We are studying 3 weeks of Bhagavad Gita. We will learn values with fun. We have games and activities and all kinds of things planned. We're also looking for seva help. We're also looking for sponsorship. If anyone wants more information, I will be happy to share. Okay? All right, I'll do closing prayer. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purna Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Shri Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai.